Hi and welcome back. Today I'm going to go heat treat these knives right here. I got clays all, the satinite on them, it's all dried and everything. I'm just going to touch this binding back up right here in a spot or two, and before I take it out there and put it in the heat. And this one also, I have left the jimping out so it will get hard, and I won't have to fight. I won't have to hand sand that part of it. Try not to anyway. At least it'll do that. Keep the edges nice and thick. So that, and I got to get back to finishing some of these knives right here. There's my little short, just a harpoon point, just a little short knife. Probably a 3 3/4 inch blade. Try not to go too overly long with them. 4 1/2 is a long blade for me, unless it's one of the big knives. It's just, I don't feel like you need to carry all that weight around, especially if you've got weight in the spine that will help do the knife. So here's another one. This one's at a 80 CRV2, so it won't Hamon, even though I Hamoned it when or clayed it technically before I did. This one is 01. Yep, right out of 01. This one, I believe, is at a 80 CRV2. I'll just have to wait till I normally write it down on it, but I forgot, evidently I missed this one. So I'll check it once it comes out of the acid to see if it amounts. If it does, then we know it's either it's probably 1095, because the 80 CRV, and I know it's not 01. So that by fact. This is 1095, so this one ought to amount good. Just a good little straight backed spear point hunter. Here's the 742 Trapper. It's an 01. And this one right here, oh now come on now. Evidently I forgot this one too. Top Gunny. Maybe it's right there. Don't know. It looks like 01. 01's got a different grain to it in the spine there that you can tell. Usually it's just a little, the grain's a little different in it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this one, yeah, it's got a little different texture to it, little different pattern to it. I know I need to sand it up before you can really tell it, but it looks like it's been filed. The pattern does underneath it, which it's not, but it's just the grain structure in there makes little lines on it. It looks like it's been cross filed in its state right there. So anyway, let me take these out there and hope I don't run out of propane. I only got 2 to do, so it shouldn't take too awful long. I'll take you out there and set up, and we'll light the heater, or light the ribbon burner up, and get the I'm sorry, I forgot I had you zoomed in there. So, is it ready for its final edge? No, it's not. It's not even ready for temper yet. Now, what I am going to do, I cleaned it up. See the Satanite and the 1095 doesn't blister up like the other steel did with the red clay on it. So yeah, that looks like what I'm going to be using from now on. Stuff's expensive, but until you fire it, it's actually, it will go back into solution just by adding some water to it. I tried that, tested that earlier. Yes, I did. What I had in there Saturday, leftover Saturday, put a little more water in it, stirred it up, and it went right back into solution. So, let me put this, let me turn this off for just a minute, and I'll stick this in the ferric chloride for just a minute. Okay, I'm gonna go get this out. It's only been in there 2 or 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. Ooh, now one has to remember that this is not ground to final shape or anything, and the Hamon will go all the way through the metal. It's not smoothed up or anything. I still got to grind it, and I'll do that before I temper it, so I don't. You can see that. I know it'd be better if it was slick, but it's there and it's nice and pretty. So, yep. When this gets cleaned up and hardened and tempered, it should pop out there pretty darn good. Yeah, buddy. I like it. So, yeah, that looks good. Now, this one and this one, I'm gonna wash them both off and wrap them in paper towels, and I'm gonna put them in a negative 20-degree freezer till I get some dry ice, and they'll be already at negative 20 degrees, 19, 20, something like that, whatever the little things in there say. But the dry ice will pull it down to a negative 109 something. It's almost 110. So doing them from 75 or 80 degrees or 82 degrees, whatever it is in here right now, down to minus that 110 is it's a 190 degree swing. So if you take them down to 20 degrees below zero and you hold them there till you get ready to put them in the, that's a whole lot less. So that's the reason it lasted so long before, is normally if I just take them and throw them in here like this, 5 or 6, 7 of them at a time, they'll only go about 24 hours with about 10-12 pounds of dry ice. That one went a little over 48 hours, the last batch I did. These right here, here. So I've got a bunch of knives I need to get cracking on here and get them cleaned up. But yeah, I like the way that Hamon pattern's turning out. Once it gets, like I said, once it gets all sanded and tempered and everything down to final, it ought to etch real pretty. Because this will slicken out real good and slick. It will. And so anyway, I'm gonna leave that with you. I'll come back when I start to do this. When I start to put them in the dry ice, I'll add that clip to this. Okay, it's been a couple of 3 days since I put the Beaver knife and the other Trapper knife in the freezer. It's 12 below zero. It's not 20 like I thought. It's 12 when I turned it around, turned the thermometer around so I could see it better. So anyway, in this, let me see if I can't just pan down with this a little bit. Okay, in this cooler is RV antifreeze. It's non-toxic. Sorry. Go. Forgive my camera work today. It ain't what the flip. No way. But anyway, I'm the only cameraman I got, so now the dry ice I have here in one chunk. I will take my hammer and take my trusty ball peen hammer and smack it a couple times before I cut it and get in there. Okay. My bird fell out. Okay. Here's these two knives. Ooh, golly, yeah, that's cold. Cold. Okay, there it is. Right there. The faster you can get this in there, and the faster you can get these down. They're in the soup now. This will supplement away. Okay, look at there. Yeah, buddy. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, it makes it look like a Halloween party. Okay, that's enough. That's carbon dioxide. That replaces oxygen. So that would, if I stayed in here long with that without sealing it up and everything, it would pretty much take over the oxygen in here, and I'd be passed out in here because it lays right on top of this. If I was to fall, whatever, it would be a bad day for me. Now, to insulate this and to make it take a little bit, just so it'll do the 24-hour deal. Okay, this is Friday, and so there, that puts that in there more or less. There. Now, set this over here out of the way. Put this little knife box on there. My little, get that in just a second. Upside down. You know, I need to wash that. Check it on the knives that I've got on store. I've got some that's on Etsy here, stored here, and I hear this is what I call a Dalmatian twin. It's no rusty. It's not rusty or anything on it. It's good, dry, clean. I can oil it again. But the hair, what little stubby hair I've got, is just jumping off here. I mean, just bouncing. Little short hairs. I don't know if it'll Ooh. Yeah, cut one or two. No soap, and them things are little. Look, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna oil these knives up, and then I'm gonna get out and let these do their thing. I don't want to be in here while it's doing this, you know. So anyway, I'll come back when it's time to get them out of the ice there and getting ready for the temper. And I might just might go ahead and do a little final grind on them before I temper them, do them while it's hard, so that way, you know, hopefully I won't overheat the edge. Then, you know, like the old saying goes, you forge thick, grind thin. Well, I left them thick so I could do all of that later. Like I said, I'm just going to set this one up. I don't have this one up on Etsy or anything. Got this one. It's got a gunmetal gray finish on it, and this one. I didn't put a bone under this one. Just done the DBK. Both of these knives have seen service, being checked out, and that's the same way. It pops higher like you wouldn't believe. One or two little stubbies there, and but these, I may take these in the house and put these up on Etsy. I just hadn't got around to it yet. One of them things. Alright, I'm rambled enough. I'll come back when this is out of when the ice all subliments away. Alright. Okay. I said I'd bring you back when I got that the Beaver knife sanded. Well, I forgot to turn on the camera. So it is finished. Been hand sanded, 400 grit. There's a little, that where my acid I believe is a little strong. I need to dilute it down a little bit more. I believe some of the waters that come out of it. But anyway, there's the Hamon. You can see it. Beautiful. All the way around. Now, the knife is only going to be sharp to about right there. It is tapered up here, but I flattened it off. It's not going to be sharp up here, but around the corner here, it's going to be. Matter of fact, it may already be, because you take it fairly sharp off from hand sanding and put it in the ferric chloride, it will etch itself sharp. It eats away the little burr there. No, it ain't sharp enough to shave yet. But I want to get cut. Would I want to pull it across me hot and heavy? No, I don't, because it would cut me. Maybe a little bit of the steel wool scratches in it. That's okay. Just adds more character to it. And, yep, that it does. Beautiful around that point. Got a Hamon line all the way. There's a little bit right in here. A little finger that sticks out here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, right there. Got a Hamon line on it. There you go. Yeah, buddy. Now, to keep this little puppy, you can use 3-in-1 oil. My local steel supplier has Norton there. It's sharpening stone oil, but the reason they got it in there is they don't sell whet rocks or knives or anything else in there like that. They're welding supply, so you don't get knife steel in there. You get structural steel, which is mild steel. and you get your different shapes and everything. And the reason they're selling this is for drilling holes in steel. That's what they told me, and nobody's buying it. It's been sitting there for a while. Every time I go in there, not every time, but just every few times, I'll go in there and I'll buy a couple of bottles of it. And I put this in here like this. Just lather it on there good, let it go, and it's just fine. And what it'll do when you rub it, everything, it will clean some of the gray off of it and everything like that. It won't make it shine, but it'll clean it, and you just rub it down in there, staying well away from the sharp side of this if I can. It's very lightly, got the DBK on this side. I don't know. Okay. On this side, because this is the first actual Beaver knife that I've designed and built, I give this one the designation of B4 0001. This is the first knife designed and built Beaver, and I'll call it a Series 4 design, number 0001. So this is the first, and it's Hamon all the way around. Like I said, this up in here, it's not so much for for cutting or anything. It's for going in and twisting and prying, using it to pry with, and it works a lot better than on than a point for going in on a Beaver. Beaver sticky, fat, nasty fat. They're rodents, but they only eat trees, so it's like squirrels. Squirrels is rodents, but a lot of people eat them. I've eaten my share of them. Ain't nothing wrong with them. And so people eat beavers. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just meat. Pure protein on the hoof, or webbed feet, whatever, like that. So anyway, when I come, I'll see if I can't edit this all together. I'll worry about building a handle or making a handle and posting this. I actually come out here to do a full-on knife build, but I wound up doing some other stuff first, so I didn't get all of it that I wanted to done. So life, it changes every day, so gotta go. I get this one together like that. I'll get ready to put the handle on it and make a sheath for it. I'll come back and call it Beaver Part 4, and I'll try to wrap this up and condense it all down into Part 3 of Beaver. So till the next time, this is Bobby Shields saying God bless.